Hey guys, Sean Timber here, and today I'm suggesting to your listening pleasure Spider-Man Into the Spideyverse. Before we dive into this one, I just want you to know that this video will be spoiler free, and the footage you see here will be from the trailers and early on in the show. Alright, I'll just say it. Sony had absolutely no right to make something this good. The opening sequence of this film hit so hard, it practically knocked me out of my seat. Everything comes together in a way that instantly tells you this isn't gonna be your typical superhero movie. What's mind-blowing about Spideyverse is how they approached the animation. Actually, I really loved it. The creative team had zero restrictions because it's animated. They created this incredible comic book style that makes you feel like you're living inside a comic. And here's something interesting that I found interesting about this movie as well. So this movie actually had 3 directors working on it, right? And they all collaborated to bring this vision to life. And that's very unusual. But in this one, it really paid off. And when I was watching this one for the first time, animation was so good I had to do research, and what they did in this one is they had to invent new animation technology to make this film happen. The team created like a unique system that combined computer animation with traditional hand-drawn techniques. So they were literally building the tools as they were making the movie. So the animators would actually print out frames, draw them by hand, and then scan them back in. So that's some serious dedication. If you watch this movie, you will notice some of the slight offset colors and weird animations. All of that is intentional because they wanted to make it feel like a comic book from the 60s or 70s. And they even animated some scenes on twos, meaning 12 frames per second instead of the standard 24 frames per second, which is used in movies. So they did this to give certain characters a more distinctive, choppy movement style. It's pretty cool the way they do it. And don't worry about the technical terms, just know what they did was so cool. So we introduced to Miles, who is the main character of this one, Miles Morales, and he's from Brooklyn, New York. So from the moment we meet him, you understand who he is. Because what they did is they made some perfect little details. The way he slaps stickers everywhere he goes, literally leaving his mark on the world. It's like the creators knew all along that these small touches would build a character we'd instantly connect with. And what makes Miles such a compelling character is he feels like a real teenager. There's this funny scene actually where his father embarrasses him in front of his new school. It's so funny.
I love you, Miles.
Yeah, I know that.
You gotta say I love you back.
Dad, are you serious?
I want to hear it.
You want to hear me say it?
I love you, Dad.
You're dropping me off out of school?
I love you, Dad.
Look at this place.
Dad, I love you.
Dad, I love you.
That's a copy.
And another funny thing that also stood out to his character is how he was intentional in everything he did. Like, everyone kept on telling him, your shoes are untied. And these little moments make Miles such an interesting character. And my boy's such a Chad. When he got bit by the radioactive spider, my boy doesn't even flinch. But then he doesn't know what to do with the powers he gets. He's clumsy, he's awkward, he's figuring out things as he goes. Just like all of us would have been going through life for the most part when we were teenagers. He's a teenager. Now let's talk about the music in this film. Holy cow, the soundtracks don't just complement the movie. The soundtracks are actually an essential part of the storytelling. Every track feels perfectly matched to the moment and the character. One example I would like to mention is the type of music Miles listens to, right? Those moments we hear what he's listening to on his headphones builds and establishes his character better than 5 minutes of dialogue could have. The music becomes part of his identity. This is one of the rare films where the soundtrack isn't just background noise. It actively enhances every emotional beat. When things get intense, the music amplifies that feeling. When there's a triumphant moment, the music makes you want to stand up and cheer. The music is just amazing. And the legend behind the music is Daniel Pemberton. He did a really good job with the musical compositions in this movie. Another aspect you should look out for are the family dynamics. It has some of the most authentic I've seen in a superhero movie. Miles has a loving but complicated relationship with his father, who's a police officer, by the way. His mother is this wonderful, supportive presence who sees and appreciates Miles for who he is. And then there's Uncle Aaron. This character brings such an important dimension to Miles' story. He's so cool. He's the cool uncle with superior taste in music. His music taste, oh my goodness. And he's the uncle who teaches his nephew everything. I mean, he even teaches him how to talk to girls.
You know about the shoulder touch?
Of course I do. But tell me anyway.
Tomorrow, find that girl. You walk up to her and be like, hey.
You serious, Uncle Aaron?
I'm telling you, man, it's science.
So walk up to her and be like, hey.
No. Like, hey.
Hey.
No. Hey.
Another example as well is the painting scene with Uncle Aaron. It shows us the more rebellious, artistic side of Miles. And once again, the music. Yo, in this sequence perfectly captures the freedom and joy of creative expression. It's so good. These relationships in this movie aren't just there for emotional weight. They actively drive the story forward and shape who Miles becomes. The villains in this movie are genuinely intimidating in a way animated characters rarely achieve. Kingpin is this massive, hulking figure who literally takes up half the screen sometimes. His shoulders are wider than doorways. When he moves, you feel the weight and menace. Prowler is equally terrifying in a completely different way though. He's sleek, he's silent, deadly. The animation and sound design whenever Prowler appears creates this sense of immediate danger that's palpable. And what makes Kingpin such a compelling villain is his motivation. He's not just trying to take over the world or get rich, he's trying to access the multiverse to bring back his family. It's a goal that's emotionally driven and understandable, even if his methods are destructive and wrong. I mean, speaking of this, it reminds me of the Doctor Strange movie which just came when Wanda was trying to do the same thing. But this movie came out in 2018, so this one did it first, and it did it way better than that one. He confronts Peter Parker, this dimension Spider-Man, and Peter Parker was like, no bro, your plan isn't gonna work. It's such a horrible plan. And then Kingpin didn't like being told that he can't bring his family back. So what does he do? He escalates the situation and the stakes are immediately raised for everyone involved. Suddenly, Miles, who barely understands his own powers, is thrust into a situation where multiple realities depend on him. The pressure is immense and you feel it as a viewer. And what happens next is, we meet spider people from different dimensions, each with their own unique animation style and backstory. Marvel has been doing this thing where they bring in a lot of characters from different universes or different dimensions, and it got a little bit boring nowadays. It's kind of old, but I'm telling you, the way it's done here, it's done very well. And I'm not going to give a lot of spoilers on this one, but there's this other Spider-Man from another dimension who becomes crucial to Miles' development. This other Spider-Man is more experienced and more capable. Their dynamic becomes one of the most emotional cores of the film, as Miles has to figure out how to be his own version of Spider-Man. And also this specific Spider-Man, the other one, who I'm not going to give you spoilers on because you should watch it for yourself, also grows with his interactions with Miles. This movie is absolutely packed with Easter eggs and references for the eagle-eyed viewer, if you're one of those. There are nods to classic Spider-Man comics, previous films, and even hints about characters we might see in the future ones. Actually, we do see some of the characters in the second one, which came out in 2023. I might make a video about that one as well. So if you want me to do that, of course, leave a comment so I can see the interest. So if you love mysteries and piecing things together, you have a blast spotting all these hidden details. I'm still finding new ones. And this is like my 4th or 5th viewing. I'm finding new ones all the time. We should definitely compare notes in the comments if there's any that you found that you think no one else has found. So at the end of it all, what makes this movie a special movie? It's how balanced everything is. The emotional moments hit hard because they are earned, and there's enough drama to complement the funny scenes. The action sequences are spectacular without overwhelming the story, of course. Every scene serves a purpose, moving the narrative forward while developing characters. And in this richly imagined world, Nothing feels wasted or out of place. The animation style isn't just visually stunning, it's thematically relevant. The comic book aesthetic with thought bubbles, action lines, and split screens isn't just there to look cool, though it absolutely does. It reinforces the idea that anyone can be behind the mask, that these stories can be told in infinite ways. So if you're a comic book fan, this is an absolute must-see. It captures the spirit of the comics in such a superior way. If you love innovative animation that pushes boundaries, you'll be blown away by what they've achieved here. If you're into music and how it enhances storytelling, the soundtracks alone are worth the price of admission. And if you just want to watch a great story about finding your place in the world and becoming the person you're meant to be, Spider-Verse delivers that with heart and style. Even if superhero movies aren't usually your thing, I'll still recommend giving this one a chance. It breaks so many rules and defies so many conventions that it barely feels like a superhero movie. In the traditional sense, that is. My final thoughts on this one? It was a revolutionary movie. It was really good. It changed what we thought was possible in animation. It gave us a Spider-Man story that felt both classic and completely fresh. It introduced mainstream audiences to Miles Morales, one of the most compelling comic book characters of the last decade. The animation is breathtaking, the story is emotionally resonant, the characters feel authentic, the music, man, it's on another level entirely. If you haven't experienced this film yet, do yourself a favor right now, put it on your bucket list of movies you want to watch. It's so good, and I definitely recommend it. And if you have seen it, maybe it's time for another viewing. Alright guys, you know the drill. Like and subscribe like my mom, and get back to work, or you're fired.